Hello, I am back today with day 6. The prompt for day 6 or the reference for day 6 today is a banana flower. So let me just show you what that looks like. This is, yeah, I think this is good. So the banana flower looks like this. Pretty colorful. And we're going to do this in pencil color. So here are my favorite pencil colors. Sorry, not pencil colors, watercolor pencils. Watercolor pencils. My mistake. And I'm going to start with the lightest shade, which is yellow. This is the primary portion that the yellow is at, and here you will see these curvy shapes. I'm just drawing the shape out right now. So once I do this, shade in the portion that needs a little bit of yellow, not all of it. Then there's some sort of thread-like substance, that's item that sticks out, which is slightly different color also. So I'm going to change this to a little bit of orange, some sort of an orange-like shape. Okay, and once that's done, I will get in with the purple or the indigo. So let's look for indigo. Whatever is the closest to indigo. So this shape comes in downward. Okay, comes down in. I think a little wider here. Yeah. Then above this is the what looks like an opened out petal. With a curve. Just drawing that in here like this. Another petal shape coming in from here, turning upward. Now the remaining shapes are some sort of a twisty thing here. Yeah. Finally, I would like to go in with a pinkish color or reddish, yeah, reddish pink. With that, I will paint draw in the last part, which is out of the picture. Stops here. Now this part is entirely red, so I'm just going to shade that in. Entirely red, but darker on this side at the base. See, over here. So I'm just going to press in my brush a little bit, my pencil a little bit. Also darken this area a little bit, and then the rest of it I'm going to keep as light as I can. So we know by now how watercolor pencils work. The more pigment you leave on the paper, the darker it's going to color in. So let's put that in over here as well. So in the picture I'm looking at, there seems to be like a luminous feel to this color here, bright and as if light has gone through it and it is really shining, radiating some sort of light. So I'm going to keep this light, really light. And then as I go inward here, I will press in my watercolor pencil a little more to darken it. So this way, as I color in, I'm shading or trying to achieve the intensity or the lack of intensity that I want eventually. I will also put in a little bit of black, because if you look at the picture, you will notice I have a little bit of darkness over here, which is not red or dark red. So let me just gingerly put in a little bit here, a little bit of black. Could have been brown too, but I've realized over the last few days that watercolor pencil watercolor pencil, yes, does not is not as intense as we expect it to be. So not to go in too light. Now this portion here is definitely darker, so I'm going with the black, but I won't do too much of it. I will come back to the purple because I want that black to be mixed with purple. Definitely want to mix up the two colors here. This is a nice dark portion, some sort of a area that doesn't get any color, any light. Yeah, so gently, this is purplish, so I'm going to go in with that gentle purple color. This is the contrast I'm talking about. Then the underside of this petal is also lightly purplish. The underside of this also is lightly purplish, but the funny thing is here it is purplish, but as you go higher, it's so light, it's almost white, almost. So I'm going to be very gentle with the color there. Oh, then I have a little bit of the same reddish color over here, light and luminescent, and this is light and luminescent too, so very gentle shading. Now here I darken it. Okay, once that is darkened, I also go in with a little bit of black, just a wee bit, to get that intensity a little more. Yeah, done. Now quickly on to the body of our flower. Again, I see some sort of brightness here, and I want to, meaning as if light is falling here, so I want to leave a little bit of it white, paper white. See, and as I come to the left, I will definitely darken it. Now these little spaces between, I'm trying my best to put in a little bit of dark penciling, but whether that's going to work eventually, I will know only when I put in the brush to my painting. Okay, so here I am definitely dark. Okay, at this point, quite dark. I will put in a little bit of black there. Yeah, just a wee bit to darken it because it's right inside. Thereafter, it's all purple. Little darker than the earlier part here, little darker. So what I'll do is I'll darken this here. Yeah, and then I will lighten it a little bit to this side. Fortunately for us, there is a little bit of shade of green that you can introduce over here right at the tip. Now this is a very bright green, so if you feel that it's too bright, eventually you may want to put in a little bit of yellow so that it has a more lemony green feel eventually. Okay, so a little bit of yellow at the tip, and a wee bit of green right at the tips. That's where the green is. Now in between there could be some shades. I don't want to do it right away. As far as the yellow is concerned, I don't mind putting in a little bit of light brown just at the base here to indicate that it is darkening over here a little bit. That yellow color is darkening, and maybe later I will be able to put in some shading, because if I do it now it may not stand out. Yeah, done. I'm going to now straight away add color to this because today I'm moving fast. Off to start with the brush. Let's start with light to dark. So light starts here. Light color. The application of color is what I'm talking about, not the light, not the color itself, but the light application of the color. Start with that. Come lower. Now as you come lower, you will notice that the paint is obviously getting more intense. See, that little dark shade I wanted, it's coming through. Okay, that's nice. Okay. Since that's done, let's get on to the next part. I'm going to do an entirely different leaf, or the back of a leaf, which is even better. Maybe here, this one, this purple one. Okay, again starting from this end because I wanted light. So when you start with the darker portion, obviously that color will start to move into the lighter section. So if you want a shading like I do right now, you have to start with the lighter portion and then come towards the darker one. See, so the darker one is going to get dark anyway. The intensity of the pencil is very much there. Okay, another section. Let's go into this part. So inside of here, again light to dark. I wanted luminescent effect, but I guess this is the closest to luminescence I will get. Very important, maintaining these outlines as best as I can. Great. Now with a smaller brush, because I'm tackling a smaller area, I'll take my smaller brush and just put in this bit here, which is quite a dark section. Like I said, it is a little bit of a shadowy portion of the plant where light doesn't reach. So it's purple and it is dark, so it almost looks black. See what I mean? And because we mixed black into the purple there, or purple into the black there, the shape is very clearly, this thing is very clearly dark. Okay, what shall we do next? By the way, when the paper is wet like this one, if you want to darken it just a wee bit more, you can come in with your pencil and just rub it in. You will notice it becomes wet pencil, can be very dark. See, intensity when the pencil tip gets wet, it's quite dark. I put in a little bit of black too, just a wee bit, just to outline that section. Let's see if the brush will make it neater. Maybe just a bit. Okay, oops, I've been dropping water around here. On to the next part, onto the purple here. Now I want to start with my big brush, but this is a very narrow section, so oh, we're doing it the wrong way. My fault. Flip it around so that I can start from the lighter portion. Now this is not entirely the lighter portion, but it is where there is a slight blend of purple with green. a very odd blend, but a very natural blend. That's how it appears in nature. So you want to kind of get that color in. Okay, now we've gotten onto the lighter portion. I'm maintaining a little bit of white if I can, if I remember to. Now comes the tricky portion. Colors intensifying and the space is getting narrow. Okay, not so bad, not so great either. Doesn't matter. On we go. Lighter. To the dark. So the red hasn't been as bright as I hoped it would. So I will just come in with a wet pencil. Okay, fatter brush. Move that red little out. Just a wee bit more vibrance. See? Displace it a little bit. Soften it. Yeah. And like I mentioned in the beginning, you can consider doing it one more way. That would be take a strip of paper, apply a dark bit of red, take your red off this and use it like watercolor. See? This may be the easiest way to do it. See? Alright. Back to this light to dark. And this one light to actually all of this is pretty much light. It's the same thing. It's not very shaded. Yeah. Cleaning that brush again so that I can take in, okay, not too dark. I want it to be a little darker. Yeah, there you go. See how vibrant it became the moment the pencil touched the water. So that's also one way to use the pencil color. If you decide that you want it darker, you can run your pencil color through some wet paint and you will get it really vibrant. Now if your brush your paints pencil colors are watercolor pencils are too what shall I say, old, they may break, the tip may break when you do this, so be a little careful. Putting in a little bit of a darker shade so I can demarcate one part from the other. Yeah, that, and a little bit more redness. Yeah, this particular one is really a lot darker than I made it, so I would like it to become darker. Okay, how are we on time? 21 minutes. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. 21 minutes. Got some shading in there. Next is our yellow. Clean brush, and let's go in here. So it's a light color and we can, while it does mix, you can't see much of a shading. That's how the yellow is. Now hopefully this little orange will show up a little more. Small brush for this. See? Yeah, it does deepen the color. although to see it is still challenging. So let me pull this out and see if I can add some detail. See, this way. On here, and a few bits of lines here. Okay, a little more pink or reddish pink over here. And a little bit of purple over here. And that's just shading. Just a wee bit of shading. At this point, if you want to add a little bit of blue, you can do that. A little bit of blue. The purple, I feel the pencil purple is a little bit, has more of a pinkish hue than a blue, and we really need to see a little more blue in this. So I'm just going over this very gently. I definitely can see a little bit of blue over here too. See? Yeah. And there's one detail, black detail over here, which I really think should be added. So I'm going to go to my scrap of paper and just wet this portion, which has a little bit of black and brown, and add that little bit of detail over here, which is a little, with my fine brush. Yeah, this way. The lighter shade, you could elaborate on this just a wee bit more. Maybe with that orangish brown color, I could put in a few more of these lines, right? So orangish brown. Let's pull out some marks. I don't know if it's very visible. Getting there. Let me just run over this one more time to activate that blue. See, the blue is mixing with the purple now. Finally, I am going to go in with a little bit of, I don't say pink, maybe pink. This portion has kind of dried, so let me just work on that color. Yes. I will work a little bit on this blue, purple with a little bit of blue. So just a wee bit, a hint of blue. Like I said, because the purple is not, or the shade is not, so perhaps I should be saying this is indigo. Go back to this color. Where's the brush? Flatter brush. Quick brush through. Yeah, it's definitely more pink this time. or reddish. Clean the brush and let's go in with a little bit of that here. Okay, that's it. At the very end, I don't mind a few dark lines which I will not paint in. I will just accentuate with the pencil alone. See, few little lines. Yeah, that's done. Banana flower. All right, quick finish. Thanks for joining in. I'll see you later. Bye.